my perspective, the way I look at tennis, the way I teach it, the way I see it, is not your standard, you know, open up a book and this is what everybody else is saying. Okay? It's just, I was when I took a break from tennis, a 10-year break, leaving Silverado and then coming here, when I started teaching again, it gave me a fresh perspective to see you guys out there playing and having some like revelations. Like, wow, you know what? They're not seeing this.
Yeah.
But they're doing exactly what they've been told. But it's not flushing out in how you play. It's like, gosh, I keep trying to do this, and I'm not being successful at it. Okay? And so, for me, I watched and I went, wow, you know what? There's an elephant in the room, and no one's actually seeing it. So the whole idea tonight is just simply to take a little bit of that, take the experience you've had on the court with me already, and kind of just condense it down and give you something tangible to walk away with, to make your own notes on it as we go through this stuff, point by point. So the whole idea is just really to give you some insight, to open up and change the lens that you look through, and first and foremost, how you prepare to do this, so that you can glean a little bit more enjoyment, and improve your tennis in a way that isn't necessarily just always stroke-based. You can take what you have right now and be more successful if you change the lens you're looking through. Okay, so that's kind of overall what we're looking at here. First thing though, right? We get ready for something in every other aspect of our lives, every day. So what do we want to do? We want to incorporate some of those skills that you do automatically without thinking into preparing to come play tennis, either match play or practice or a private lesson. Are you actually ready to be there, or are we still somewhere else, right? So as I said there, being ready is not just a place on the court, it's not just a body position or a stance. Being ready starts in the mind, right? It's a state of mind, right? So you prepare yourselves to, you have a social function that you're going to have at your house next week, Colleen, right? I'm just telling you this now. Next Friday, they got 100 people coming. Are you going to prepare?
Maybe.
Maybe, right? So when that day, so all week though, you're going to be what? Like filtering everything that's going on that week. You're going to filter through that idea that Friday's coming, and it's coming no matter what. It's going to show up, and what have I done to prepare for that thing? It's not just the food. It's not just the wine. It's not just do I have enough chairs. It's not just that. It's really, are you ready to present and to welcome people into your home and to present the energy and the atmosphere that you want to experience and you want to present to your guests, right? So how does that relate to this? Dead on, right? You come out to the court, the experience you have that you want to have is up to you. It's not up to your opponents. So, pre-match variables. What is that, right? Mentally, physically, emotionally. So, prepare your schedule, right? We do that automatically. Times, practice, training, private trainer, gym, match play, right? We need to prepare our minds, getting into a good space before arriving at the courts. Because by the time you arrive here, there's a whole nother level of distraction between your car and the court.
Yeah.
And a whole other level of distraction once you arrive on the court.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to lay this stuff out and kind of and then we're going to go then a little deeper. Okay. Right. So what's the first thing you have to decide on that day? The day, whether it's practice, whether it's a lesson, whether it's a match, you have to make a decision that day.
You have to get ready.
Got to get ready. That encompasses a whole bunch of stuff. And that's what we're talking about, right? But there's a basic decision, right? And that is
what our focus is going to be that day?
part of it. Even before that. Even before that.
You gotta show up.
I got to show up mentally. I got to decide I want to be there today,
Right.
right? So if on the way here, again, I've got the other stuff going on, and I'm deciding already that other stuff is important, I never actually make the commitment that I want to be here. So that's a basic, right? And we breeze past that one, It's a drive-by fruiting. It's just like, we go right past it and we get engaged in, again, friends on the court, walking past somebody's playing, blah, 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 and all of a sudden, here we are. All of a sudden the match has started. Somehow, here we are, right? So one of the basics is you got to decide you want to be there. And once you make that decision, you'll find that the next layer of focus I can get to, okay? Because it's all about getting to that point where, wow, the match has actually started, and am I actually here and present and able to actually think clearly about constructing something that might actually turn into a win, right? And that is where we like to go, right? Okay? So, got to decide I want to be there on that day. Be aware of when you play, right? This is part of that. Are you a morning person? Are you an afternoon person? Right? Most of the matches, depending on what league you're in though, are 9 o'clock start times or 10 o'clock start times, right? It's not great if you're not a morning person. However, that's the way the season's going to go. So I can either decide to piss and moan about that time all season long, or I can decide, you know what, what's going to enhance my experience in that? Maybe I should get up an hour earlier, maybe I should take care of this, maybe I should answer all my emails before this, and then get in the car and come to the club so I can be, again, present.
Present.
Right? Okay. So again, I think this is just making you aware of what it is that you're kind of ignoring right now that's actually affecting your ability to enjoy your time out there. Okay? All right. So, location, home or away. How am I going to get there? Who am I going with? What time do we got to leave? Again, that might really throw a wrench in your works. Oh my God, we got to leave at 7:30 because we got to go. Oh crap! I already hate playing at 9, right? And now I got to be up and then, you know.
That's Tiburon.
Right? So again, another variable that affects the attitude of the day. Okay? So don't ignore it. Pay attention to it. Figure out what are we going to do with it. Home court. Right? Is there a court out here that you don't like to play on? Kim, is there any court here that you'd like prefer to play on or not play on, or you don't care? No?
I don't like
It depends on
stadium.
the weather.
Okay.
I don't like stadium.
Okay.
I'll,
Right.
I'll help you.
So, right, okay, and that's the point, is that so does that underlying possibility linger while you're waiting to go on?
Exactly.
Because it might, oh my
It
gosh,
could.
the last second we might get thrown,
Yeah.
we might have to go play on stage,
Exactly.
right? So, is there a way to handle that? Right? For you, is there a way to make sure that doesn't happen? Right? So take care of that. Don't let it be a random possibility at the time it's time to play.
Well, she's captain, she can put herself on any
Well, there you
court she
go.
wants.
Or I can say, okay, I know this, you know, I get what you mean. You can also like talk yourself down off that ledge and
Yes,
go,
right.
it's a big deal that you're on there. You just don't like that the balls go flying, you know,
Right,
whatever.
yeah.
Whatever it is, right?
Right.
So, so again, don't ignore it.
That's the key. Don't ignore it.
Solve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you're on right now. Right? And then,
Right.
oh crap, I didn't want to play on there. So now between the walk from the shop,
Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
all.
walk to the
Great
court,
point. Yeah.
right? That 50 feet is like dead man walking.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
we're pissing and moaning about it all. Here it is. And listen, I'm talking this way because you know what? I've walked
Your experience, yeah.
I've walked down the road. I've done everything you see here. I've done it all. Okay? I've been late. I've pissed and moaned about where I'm playing. I've not liked the court I've played on. I don't like the wind today.
Right.
The sun's too friggin' hot. It's like playing tennis on the sun. I don't want to do it today.
Right.
Okay, so I've walked the road. I have the battle scars. Okay, so I'm just telling you what I know to be true.
Exactly.
Okay, and so it's not a secret, and I'm just kind of blurting it out so that you can all go, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. Okay, and then you can look at each other and go, okay, we get it. Now let's help each other move ourselves past this at the next match, right? Okay, so we can all speak the same language. How do I feel about the club? Do I have a bad taste in my mouth from the previous experience there?
Yes.
Are there, I'm just going to go deep and then we're going to retract, go back on this again. Are there facilities at the club? Or are the facilities so, my gosh, they never clean them, they're horrible, I'd rather go to the Starbucks across the street, right? So here we have another bundle of variables. that can, boy, I was in a great mood until I got there.
Forgot it was Galvin, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot where I was going, and there I am. Okay.
car.
And then, so pay attention to that. Again, it's just another
Yeah.
part of having a better experience where you are going to play. So I've been there before. I know they never clean the bathrooms. I know there's a Starbucks across the street or 2 blocks away. They tend to keep their bathrooms clean and orderly, and I'm okay with that. Great. Okay, so stop there before you go to the club.
Take care of business, yeah.
And so we don't end up with a mid-match emergency. I gotta go, and I don't want to feel like I'm walking into a third world country bathroom,
Yeah.
right? So again, it's just another. Are you familiar with the club and the courts there? Are there certain courts you don't like to play there? I guarantee you, there are some. If we took you to each place, if we could transport you there right now, there'd be like, oh gosh, I really hate playing over there because the high school's just on the other side and all the noise and the chatter. Oh, the freeway's right there. I can either ignore that fact
Yeah.
until it annoys me in the match,
Yeah, instead, face it, yeah, that's
or
true.
realize it's gonna happen. So get a handle on it, get it in your head, and make the choice. I want to be here today. Let's play ball.
Yeah, that's
There's a
great.
kid screaming. It sounds like he's drowning, but there's a whole bunch of people there, so I'm assuming he's not. Let's move on. Right? Okay. Weather conditions. Windy, hot, cold, just right. Whatever that is, right?
Windy.
So, windy.
Yeah.
There's one that no one really likes.
Nobody,
Right.
yeah.
And I included.
That
I
was today.
don't like it. I've had some great matches in it because I've determined
To do this, yeah.
to do this and decide that if I know how to use it to my advantage better than him, he's the one who's going to be pissing and moaning most of the time, right? So again, it's a variable, and you can either use it to your advantage, or you can be on the receiving end of it and just let it beat you for your whole match. It's windy. It can be hot and windy. There's the double whammy, right? Santa Ana winds, and it's crappy hot out here, which means it's dusty and blah, 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 and, you know, whatever. Cold, freezing cold. I didn't pack warm-ups. I didn't bring anything extra, blah, blah, blah. There I am, standing out there in my tank top and my skirt, and it's about to snow, right? So again, prepare. Grab the extra coat, grab the extra sweatpants, grab the extra layers, throw them in the back seat. You don't need to stick them in your bag, just throw them in the back seat. Okay, now you know you got them.
And bring my little hand warmers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Whatever you think
Yeah.
you might need,
Yeah, I
right?
do.
So in your bag, right, in your tennis bag, that bag has to be your life for that period of time. If you think you need the kitchen sink, shove it in, right? Whatever you think you might need. I know when I go to the court, I have 5 to 6 rolls of tape, athletic tape. I have ace bandages in there. I have a sleeve for my calf. I have 2 or 3 braces for my knee. I have energy bars. I have banana in there. I have my electrolyte stuff that I use. I have 4 rackets all the time that have been freshly strung just before the tournament, right? So I know there's no chance my racket's going to last me the whole week. I'm going to be fine. Towels, multiple towels. And that's just for a match. Match number 1. Okay? At the end of that, I go shower, and then I reload. Because I've used the towel, or whatever, you know, change the shirt, whatever I have. I have in another bag in the car, another complete change of tennis clothes. Okay? And it may be even a complete with fresh shoes and all that, depending. Down in the desert, you can finish the match and your shoes are soaked because you've sweated them through and all that. So we can go as deep as you think you need to go to make sure your day, because what are we trying to get to here? We're trying to get to a win, right? And we're trying to just eliminate the variables that might actually be the interruption or the distraction for getting to that, crossing the finish line that way, okay? So anything you think you might need, I have Advil in my bag, okay? I like to pop a few of those, hour and a half before I play. Okay, 2 of them. And I know that'll keep me loose, keeps me, you know, relaxed in that. Muscularly, I know if I don't, at about the hour and a half point, I can feel my lower back a little bit, things start to get tight. Okay, even if it's a hot day. Okay, your body starts to, it just starts to function a certain way, and it's going to move into that state. Okay, so you got to know yourself. Don't ignore it. Right? Don't want to be in a panic there. Anybody got an Advil? 5 minutes before the match, right? Okay, doubles partner, right? And this is the end of this is
Don't
still
forget your devil's partner.
this is still yeah. Either don't forget them, don't leave them at the curb when you leave the club, or you stop it over there at Bel Air Market where you're all going to gather and go someplace or whatever, right? But again, this is still a pre-match variable. Who am I playing with today? Have I played with them before? Have we played together before? She's a new person on the team. I don't even know this gal, right? So again, all those variables that go with that, take care of it already, right? Because that variable, again, between here and Santa Rosa, you got a lot of time to really find the grave on that drive. You got a lot of time to get this thing swirling, and all of a sudden, and now I'm going to backtrack through all these things, and that's going to be, I don't like that. Now I don't like this. Now I don't like this, because I just haven't decided again, I want to be there today, regardless of who I'm playing with, regardless of whether I know them or not, whether we play good together or not, whether, whatever, all the variables that go with that, okay? So make your decision. I want to make this the best 2 hours on the tennis court I've ever had, right? And treat each other accordingly, okay? Match variables, right? Now we get into the nitty-gritty. Assuming now that we've handled this first part,
Rematch.
we might be able to actually pay attention in the match, right? We might actually be able to get there, right? So, understanding them is really important, so I can get to the right mindset. So variables, what are they? They are an obstacle if I ignore them, and if I don't understand them. So allowing them to occupy mental space in my emotional hard drive, right, is an obstacle for clear thinking. It's very difficult to get to that place of constructing a plan that might work if I'm still pissing and moaning about the hot weather, if I don't like the wind, if I don't like the bathrooms, if I
Like your partner.
right? So all that stuff pre that moment is occupying your mental space, right? Your hard drive, right? So I can't expect to think clearly about that if I haven't eliminated all this other stuff in front of it. Bev, question? Oh yeah, look on your face there.
I started thinking ahead, but I might ask it when it's coming up.
Right. So, which now, if I can get through those things, right? Clear thinking allows me to formulate a winning strategy, right? Which allows me to do something that's really critical. Assessing my opponent, right? So let's assume we've made it through our pre-match schedule here, we've gotten through, we've handled everything, and now I'm actually hitting balls, or maybe I haven't hit balls yet, but I know I'm going to play that team, and I know we're playing Susie Shovel and, you know, whoever. What's their style of play? How does my style match up with theirs? Has someone on my team played them? And can they give me some good intel, right? And we're going to get into that, what intel is, in a little bit, okay? So I need to be aware of these things again so I can start to formulate a strategy. There are things you can look for in the warm-up
Okay.
that will give you some indication as to what should I pick at, right? Okay, so
Are there
So-
strategies in the warm-up as well?
there can be, well, okay,
From our perspective?
strategy is really getting them to, you know, getting them to see rally balls, right? And actually have a rally with them, be in control of the ball, and we're going to get into that in a
Okay.
second here, okay? Because strategy is really going to come from a self. It is about me in the warm up to a certain, you know, to a big degree. And as long as you're managing yourself, you'll be able to actually see what's happening over there because you're managing yourself better. Okay. If I can't get past the environmental factors or personalities, my chances of staying focused or of ever getting focused on the match are slim to none. I give myself the best chance for success with proper preparation and by not ignoring the variables as if they don't exist. Because you will ignore them for only so long, and then something will happen in the match, or something will happen in the parking lot on the way to walk to the court. Something will happen
Yeah.
that will trigger an emotional response, and you will shift right at that moment, and all is lost. The day is over. Because clawing back into it, really tough. Okay? So we've said this before, if the club at my away match doesn't have bathrooms, I don't like them. Find out where they are. Find the ones that are nice. We don't want a mid-game emergency. So again, this
Yeah,
is very,
that's-
just a brief,
that's
again,
crucial.
kind of overview again
Crucial.
about what affects my match play. Okay, again, this is kind of a list then of what you should have in your bag, right? Water, energy bars, banana, anything else that you think you might need, okay? If personalities or antics are an issue, right? Get a handle on them so I don't fuel the fire when sparks start to fly during the match. So the next point here is really about the personality, and I'm talking about opponents here, okay? If the intel on my opponent is that they pull the same antics with everybody, right? Don't take it personally. This is part of their winning strategy. They create havoc.
Yeah.
They create uneasiness. They're creating an atmosphere on the court which is unpleasant.
Yeah.
Not to them.
No. Right.
They seem to function perfectly fine, don't they?
Right.
They seem
It
to
works
just
for
swim
them.
in the dirty waters,
Right.
breathing
Yeah.
fine,
The beekeeper.
right?
She's
their
perfect case,
MO.
yeah.
Okay, it's
That's
what they
that's
do.
in my mind.
It's what they
She's
do.
another one.
So again, I can either decide, gosh, they do this every time and blah, 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 and have that conversation repeatedly in my head for the next 2 hours.
No,
Tell me if I'm lying.
So,
Yeah.
no,
Right?
it's so
Get over
true.
it.
It's going on in your
Yeah.
head for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
Or
Letting it get to you.
we can talk to each other, talk to me, like, how do we do this? This is what they like to do, how do we handle this?
Exactly.
Okay, let's come up with a strategy then on how to handle that, right? And
Yeah.
it might not, you may not have to change the way you play at all. Okay, understand that. It just might be, you need to decide whether I'm gonna fuel that fire or not. I need to decide whether I'm gonna take it personally when she questions my call, and whether she questions my call again, and she questions my call again,
Let's have a plan.
and she questions my call again.
Yeah.
What do
So
I
true.
care?
She just
I can either respond and engage in a conversation, right? Who's gonna win that battle? They are, because
They're gonna keep-
that's what they want.
They're gonna keep doing that.
Right, they want a conversation, because that takes you from tennis into a personal conversation about whether my ball was in or out, okay? So, how do I do that? You know, well, let's see. This is another point. It's actually another point in the game. If you decide to engage,
Mhm.
it's another point you're playing,
Yeah.
and you treat it that way.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to engage a guy, I go, okay, he's gone too far. And I engage. And I take him out, and I go, come on, we're going to go. And what I'm saying to him is about a conversation. You want to draw me out? Now we're going to go. We're going to go over here, and we're going to have this little repartee. And we're going to puff up our chest, and then we're going to have this little thing. And then we're both going to turn around. We're going to see who can re-engage in the tennis and actually get back to tennis quicker.
Yeah.
Right? So if I'm in control of that conversation, who gets there quicker? I do. You, because I know the game. He's doing it sometimes just out of habit, and that's the habit of how he plays, right? But the difference is, the guy doesn't seem to be rattled. He actually seems to be okay. He's okay with it, right? I mean, you've heard the story about down in Newport, one down there with me and the guy. I just turned to the net and I talked to the guy and I got pretty loud and told him, go get the umpire, blah, 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 because we're done talking. Don't talk this anymore the rest of the match. Don't say another word to us. You got anything to say, talk to the umpire right there.
And for
I
us,
turned
live-
around, right? And John was a little surprised because I'm normally not the one who engages. Usually he is, right? I turned around and looked at John and I had a big smile on my face. I go, don't worry, John, I know exactly what's going on here. We got this.
Yeah.
So he relaxed, so he knows that
He's not worried about you.
I haven't stepped out.
Yeah.
Right?
I haven't
He's
left the
not.
building.
That's
You just have to,
important, right?
caretake.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
That's what we do.
So it
we
became, he knew I was still engaged in the match. I hadn't left tennis.
Yeah.
All I had done is said, you need to redirect all this stuff to that guy. And don't talk to us the rest of the match. You got nothing to say to me. So what is he gonna say?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Because he has
Right.
to do this.
So if the question about a call keeps repeating,
Lines judge.
listen, if you really think, I'm making bad calls, don't ask if they think you're cheating.
Oh, yeah.
Because that starts a
That
conversation.
starts a different, yeah.
Okay? If you think I'm not calling the ball correctly, if you think I'm missing the call, please let's get an umpire. And then just step out.
Yeah.
And if they want to engage in the conversation, let's just get an umpire.
Yes.
And calmly you just gotta hold your ground and let them do this, the dance. And it's really hard not to wanna engage because you're gonna be emotionally and like attached to your line call and to who you are, and you can't talk to me that way. And
Yeah.
but again, when you get the mindset that this is another point, and wow, wait a minute, she seems to be even spinning faster now that I'm not reacting to her. Huh, okay, who's in charge now?
Who's winning the point?
Yeah, okay. All right, so that's just, in that last one there about when we know the antics, right, and it's
See that
repeatable,
escalation in the
Yeah.
court.
don't
Don't
get,
get into that.
right? But we want to defend ourselves, so understand that, that moment in that where you engage in the conversation is you instinctively want to defend yourself because you think you're being attacked. And they're just doing their thing. It's all important, but this is something that is you have to be really, this is a personal check for yourself. As you read this, you have to ask these questions of yourself. Okay? So, which is why it's written the way it is, and I thank Lisa, my beautiful wife over there, for helping me grab this and kind of get it into this format so it becomes a question that you're asking yourself, right? So, what's the first one? Am I or is my partner sabotaging our performance? Okay, and we'll get into what that is in a second. Okay. So, and it leads into the next one. What kind of conversations are going on before and during the match? Okay. Am I distracting my partner by unloading this week's drama on her right before the match?
No.
We shouldn't do that.
Because Tom,
Again,
that's therapy.
I'm just guessing. Just guessing here, right? Okay. So
I thought that's what the short court warm-up was about.
Right? So when I said anything can happen between the time you actually got here and thought you were ready to play ball and the walk, the length of a tennis court, dead man walking. What conversation did you just hear on the court that you're not even standing on? You're walking past it and you heard the familiar voice and so said, "Hey, how'd that thing turn out?" "Oh," and you take the bait. And now, they unintentionally, they didn't mean to distract you from, you knew about to go on your tennis match. But we're so used to it, because we're all familiar, we're all friends, we just walk past and and so, you know, "Hey, blah, blah, blah. Oh, let me tell you," right? And now
Sorry, I can hear you talking.
we are nowhere near the tennis court, we are nowhere,
Yeah.
okay.
Circling the drain.
Right. Big swirly down the pooper, okay? That's what we call that. All right. So, this is what, again, you got to ask yourself, are you guilty of this? And so this is what I want you to pay attention to as you go into the second half of your season is catch yourself. Be accountable to yourself with this. Am I engaging, Janine in a conversation 5 minutes before she goes on, and she seems like she's really in a great place right now, and "Hey, I noticed the tires on your car are really bald. Maybe you ought to take care of that." So, you finish the match and you come off the court and you unload on Janine what a horrible experience you just had with that lady.
And then she's gotta go on the court.
Really? Am I supporting my teammate? Or have I just beaten the living tar out of her? Because emotionally, I just took all this negative energy and I just went, "Eh. Gee, thanks. I think I'll go play some great tennis now," right? So this stuff is where you guys have to individually be accountable to yourself and give yourself permission to catch each other. Hey, in this way, because we have to be focused on our tennis match, and we can say it friendly, we can say it in love, so that we get it. So we don't have to. If someone says it to me, I don't need to respond and knee-jerk react and defend myself, right, with it. So, all right. So, am I familiar with and or like the person I'm going to play against, right? There are some teams that you play that you really enjoy playing them because they're pleasant people, your personalities mesh, and boy, it's just a joy to be on the court today. And it doesn't really matter what court you're on because you know who you're playing and all those things are great, right? So it's easier to actually stay focused in those environments, right? When I know where I'm playing, I like the court I'm playing on. temperature's perfect outside. I've got my favorite, outfit on. I got my lucky outfit on. I like who I'm playing with. I like who I'm playing against. This is just going to be a great experience, and it turns out that way, right? But the remarkable thing is, right, about that little tweak, is that your expectation before you got to the court was this is going to be a great experience. So what did it turn out to be?
A great
Yeah,
experience.
that's
Turned out to be a
good.
great experience. Okay. If I don't like my opponent, or I've only heard about how rude, fussy, and distracting she is in a match, it's going to be really difficult for me to formulate a strategy that stays focused on tennis and winning. Because again, that's the prevailing thought, is how rude, and fussy, and unruly she is, and how disturbing she is to me, right? Okay. So if I'm the one giving the intel, I have to be careful not to poison the waters for who I'm sharing this information with my teammates. Okay? If my first response is going back to the last bullet point is how annoying, rude, and fussy and unruly they were, the conversation will linger in that area mostly. 90%, 80-90% of that conversation will linger in that area because we're not aware of what just got spoken. So now, Cheryl, please be the caretaker, because you had a bad experience, now I want to feed that, I want to take care of you, please come in, let's sit down and let's share, let's talk about how rude and horrible that experience was. Okay? So if I'm the one giving the intel, right, and my bent is how rude and horrible that experience was, the rest of the discussion is going to linger in that. And it's going to have sprinkled in there just a little bit of tennis intel. And so, but all that really gets lost in the conversation, because really the whole conversation is about watch out for them, fear. It's a tennis match.
Yeah.
Right? So it's really hard to create a positive working plan if I'm filtering that plan through my opponent's personality. Really difficult. Okay? Because I'm filtering it through their personality from the wrong perspective. I can use their personality against them if I'm thinking clearly. Don't condone it, sometimes you have to go there. Just really to maintain your own step. Like I said, the minute their rudeness or their offensiveness or whatever it is they're doing, and you feel like that energy is starting to leak onto your half of the court, over the net, and that it's starting to invade you, you have to put a stop to it. You can't just go ahead and sit there and let it receive until you're back at the fence. It's like, wow, the whole atmosphere of this court is like, eesh, I just want to get out of here now.
Yeah, we've all played matches like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
wanna
you
get
just
it
want to
over
go
with.
home.
So at some point,
Yeah.
right? And so now that so just imagine it like a wall just moving across the court. And it starts out a little bit, and it's like, okay, it's kind of like this, it's kind of icky, and then it starts to leak more on your side of the court, and then it gets even more icky, and to kill it. Again, you get to that point where it's like, oh please, somebody, get the knitting needles, let me stab my eyes out because I don't want to be here anymore, I don't want to look at this anymore, just make it end. Okay? So the intel part of this is going to go back to the very beginning of that section, right? Am I or my partner sabotaging our ability to make a winning formula, create a winning energy on our side of the court, and actually enjoy what's actually going on today? Or are we sabotaging it because we keep feeding into the conversation that just happened as I was passing that court? I keep feeding into the conversation because they keep asking me if I was sure about my call. All right? So the accountability moves all the way through that to the very end. Am I the one who's sabotaging Janine before she goes on the court? Am I the one sabotaging Liz before she goes on the court? Right? And so, got to be honest with yourself. What kind of conversations am I
That's
having?
good. Right.
Okay?
Be accountable.
I've told myself stories, okay? More than once, a whole bunch of times, okay? So again, this is just telling you what the facts are, right? So, am I crafting a story, an excuse in my head about why I lost before I lose? Ouch.
Right?
Yeah?
Has anyone ever done that?
I try not to. I don't know that I call it a story, but you definitely are kind of like.
Yeah, formulating, right? And so
Like, it's
now,
no big deal, it's just no big deal.
it's just no big deal,
If,
right?
if I
It doesn't
it's
matter.
alright.
I got lots
I
to
don't
do
really
today.
care.
I got a whole bunch of other stuff I gotta get done today.
Yeah. It's better that we don't go through sets.
This is where you gotta be honest with yourself, and the story is really subtle. It's sneaky.
It's just like that, yeah.
It's just like that, right? Oh my gosh.
There
Starting
you
to
go,
run
there's
along
another
here.
one. I never play well on
I
the
don't,
piano.
I can't play.
So we go
It's a
back to some of the other variables, right? Pre-match and actual match variables. What's number 2? Am I doing this before the match even starts?
Yeah, me.
Be honest. Yeah.
Right? You gotta be honest with yourself. Have I already decided that I don't wanna be there in Santa Rosa on this crappy windy day, and it looks like it's gonna rain, but they say we're gonna play anyway, and I'm driving out here and I know it's gonna rain when I get there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and I got things to do today. I got important things to do today. Wow, what are we doing in the car? We should have just like phoned it in last night when they said, can you play? And you said, yes, I will.
Yeah.
Right? Whose fault is that? Right? So again, I mean, why are we out here on a tennis court? We're doing this socially, right? Because socially it connects us with people and we like that.
We don't get paid.
It's fun, right? If we can get there, if we can get to the fun part, it can be a whole lot of fun,
Yeah.
right? It's good exercise, and again, it's social. Tennis is a really wonderful, can be a really wonderful experience. Number 3 there, in that, where it says reality check, I want you all to read this out loud. Read it out loud together.
Okay.
No one cares about my sad story except me.
Ooh, that's rough, isn't it?
Ouch.
Right?
Especially not on the court.
No
I
one cares.
care, you guys. I care.
Right, the caregiver in Janine cares.
I
Right?
do. I want to
But
care
you
after
have
I
to call
play.
her.
It depends how
I
sad it
care
is.
after your match. Yeah.
But
Or after
when
my
I start
match.
formulating my story, that story's only good if I tell it to somebody. It works for a little while in my own head, and then someone's going to say, "How'd you do today?" Oh well, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe this. And then the story
How
just
much time do you have?
and yeah, and then now it's a fish story, right? It was oh my gosh, you know,
It goes from one bad line call to
it was
there
Moby
were these
Dick.
15, 20.
Right.
Miles an hour.
Okay? So that little statement right there is huge and keeping you grounded in, do I want to be here right now?
Yeah.
Or am I formulating a story? I talk really harsh to myself when I'm competing sometimes. I mean like
I'm so
really harsh.
surprised.
And I do it on purpose because I need to like cattle prod myself and say, hey, you coward. Yeah, you coward. Is that your story today? Literally, I will say it out loud
Yeah,
to
but that's
myself.
good positive
When
stuff.
I'm,
though.
when
That's-
I'm walking
yeah.
to the back of the court picking up the balls,
Yeah.
and I know I'm feeling it's hot or I'm a little bit tired, things are tight in the match, and I'm disappointed, maybe blah blah blah. I'm still in the hunt. I mean, it's going on. The guy didn't get up and leave.
Yeah.
He's waiting to receive serve or he's waiting to serve, right?
Yeah.
So I have to again. It's a personal check where I say, hey, Jeff.
Jeff,
Like
darling.
when I say it,
Yeah.
right? And,
Jeff,
hey,
sweetheart. Yeah.
you know, you coward. Is that going to be your story today? Are you a coward, or really are you going
No.
to step up here?
What-
And are you going to do what you've been trained to do? Why you are here? I made a choice to be here, to drive 8 hours, to spend the money to be there because I want to compete.
Right.
And now I'm going to tell a story that says it's okay if I lost. Really? For me, that statement in that moment is simply a wake-up call.
Right.
Yeah.
And then,
Get back to
I
battle.
vented it.
Yeah.
I vented my frustration.
Yeah.
I vented my disappointment. But I don't, from that point on, I go, I'm a horrible person.
Oh,
No, right.
Yeah.
Well,
That's-
we work it out.
You know
yeah.
that
Yeah.
If you can tell your partner, listen, I
This
just,
is what I
I need
have
to
to
vent.
do.
I need to get it out.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and it doesn't reflect on you.
And then if it's not an ongoing, like, running diatribe. it's
Right.
like,
Right.
Yeah.
Which we laughed about it. That's right.
You gotta be able to
Yeah.
get back
You know, you need
in.
a special
Yeah, and I had to
across the
figure
court
out
because
that it
you
even
buried
bothered
yourself in
Yeah.
your own
You know.
self, you know,
Yeah.
lack of self-worth, right?
We digress.
Okay, so.
Yeah, sorry. Tuck to paper.
So whether I win or lose, right? My significant other still loves me, my dog, my cat, my fish. Everybody's still happy to see me when I get home, right? And I'm still me no matter what happens on the court, right? So let's put tennis in the proper perspective here.
Is that a
Right.
story there? Is that one of the stories, or is that,
No, that's just a
that's a
statement.
healthy
It's just
statement?
that
That's
statement, right?
reality.
All right.
Right?
Hopefully, it's not, it's just.
Yeah, hopefully it's
I'm
true.
assuming John's still happy to see you at the end of the day. So you can read the last one now.
Yeah.
Because this is really critical. And how do I get there? Right? And I'm telling you this again because this was like revelatory for me in 2012 when I stepped back into playing competitively again. Okay? So that little statement right there was huge for me. Lisa watched me go through the match that actually brought it to the surface and actually I got it. I understood it. I saw it right in front of me, finally. It was a 3-hour match, 3.5, so, 2 sets.
Whoa.
Yeah, right, we beat the crap out of each other. Right, I was kind of like spent for the rest of the week. I mean, it was at this tournament that I'm going to next week, right? But it was my first event back in. I wasn't sure about my conditioning and like how conditioned do I need to be and blah blah blah. I'm gonna get it back in, and then when I walked out to that court, so here's how crazy tennis is, right? I walk out to that court, play my first round, right? Now I know the guy I'm playing, right? He's a former touring player. I could have got anybody. He could have got anybody. Luck of the draw. We get each other, right? The match next to us is like, oh my gosh, they're playing in our division. Really? It was unbelievably how bad this match was, right? We're over here just like killing each other, right?
First round.
But I walk out to that court, I'm 53, 52, okay? And halfway through the match, I realize I'm 52 years old, and I have brought all my baggage with me, emotional baggage with me, from age 24.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Wow.
True statement. I've got it all out there.
Tennis is a microcosm.
They wouldn't let me on the plane with all the baggage I had, right? It's just stacked up. It is there. All the baggage that I thought I needed when I was 24,
Everybody does it.
I brought with me at 52.
Absolutely.
That was a fun ride. Okay, it was unbelievable, right?
You recognize that in yourself during the match?
Oh yeah.
That was big, your
Every-
bigger battle rather than the actual.
Yeah, the match was actually
Match, exactly.
was actually.
He was
yeah.
fighting himself.
It was just the vehicle that brought it all to the
Was it a
surface.
thought like, I should be winning 6-1, 6-2?
Nope.